Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Today we're taking a look at Neca Toys Ultimate Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. Welcome back. So Leatherface, probably the most disgusting of the horror movie slashers. Really gross character, but one I'm very happy to add to the collection. So looking at the packaging, we get the classic poster art here. That's a great poster, even though the saw and his outfit isn't accurate to the film. As we open it up, you see a great promo picture of the figure there, as well as the figure and all its accessories. Right at the side, we get the logo. At the back, a little bit of a read-up about Leatherface that you can pause to check out, as well as pictures of what the figure brings. We don't need that though, because we're going to open him up in just a second. So with Bubba out of his packaging, we'll measure him up. He stands about 7 1/4 inches tall, or just under 19 centimeters. Well, okay. And here's Leatherface next to some other NECA horror figures I've reviewed. So you can see that he is a little bit shorter than Jason and Michael, which is appropriate. It's really great to see all these characters together. I'm glad NECA has been so committed to the horror figures. I would never have imagined as a kid in the 80s and early 90s that I'd have such detailed figures of all these characters. It's really amazing. For accessories, Leatherface brings surprisingly little, but what he does bring is good. We do of course have the chainsaw, a little bit of blood on it. Not overkill on the blood, I actually like that. Nice metallic looking paint on there. Pretty nicely detailed. You can see they picked out a lot of the little engine parts and stuff like that. Looks worn. You also have bloody meat hook. What a horrible way to die. Yeesh. Then you get the meat cleaver. Good wooden handle. Not sure why it's not bloody. In my opinion, all of this stuff should be bloody. Leatherface is not the type who cleans his tools. You also have a fillet knife. Scratches in the blade and stuff like that. Looks like it's been well used. I think this is meant to be some kind of strapping that hangs down. Not too sure about that. Then you get the hammer. Again, just awful when he kills the people with this. The movie is pretty gross. And you do get an alternate head, which we'll take a closer look at when we look at the figure itself. Unfortunately, there are no alternate hands or anything like that. So you're stuck with the hands that are on the figure. So he's always has the kind of C-grip hands, which is fine if you're holding two weapons or holding the chainsaw in two hands. But if you just want, say, him holding the hammer in one hand, the other hand is still gripping. So that's a little bit weird. Not sure why they did that. And taking a closer look at Leatherface himself, although I'm not sure we exactly want to take a closer look at him. Really repulsive character. Really, I find him so disgusting. But, I mean, the movie's great, and he's obviously an icon, but just visually, he's pretty gross. You can see the mask that he's wearing starting to deteriorate. Stitches around the side and everything. A little bit of texturing in there, like it's stretched and has been drying in that. Unfortunately, this hole in the forehead is supposed to have skin tone underneath, like you're seeing his actual forehead underneath. They've just painted it black here. On the box, you do see the skin tone in there, so it's unfortunate that they didn't paint that properly. Not sure if that's just mine or if it's all of them, but they did that. You can see his teeth there. Kind of really gross. Let's go around to the back. You can see his actual ear. His shirt has really nice texture to it. Good dry brushing to bring that out. Nice wrinkling in there. The tie is a stiff rubber. Unfortunately, it's a little too thick, so it always kind of sticks out like that. It doesn't kind of go down underneath. You could tuck it under the apron, but I think he did have it out in the film there, so I guess if you heat it up, you could probably kind of warp it into place and get it to lay flat, but it is what it is. The apron, really well done. I'm not sure what kind of material you would call it. It's kind of a plastic. It's got a leather feel to it, although I don't think it is actual leather. It definitely isn't actual leather. Really like all the dirt and the blood and stuff like that. Would have liked a little bit more up on his chest there. I'm not sure if this blood is printed on or if it's kind of like a random, like they just splatter it at the factory. So I'm not sure if the other figures vary or if they all look like this, but just a little bit more on the chest would have been nice. Zoom down to his arms. Dirty looking, a little bit of blood on them, not a whole lot. Would have liked a little bit more. You get his bone bracelet here. Again, not much blood in the hands. I would like the hands to be fully coated with blood. Same with the other side, really dirty, gross. Simple gray pants. Black boots, not too much going on there. There are peg holes on the bottom. If you look at the back, you could take the apron off, but I'm not going to because I'll never tie it again properly and it won't look right. But if you do want him without the apron, that is an option. You see he's got the kind of hunched back there. The wild hair. I do like this look for Leatherface. I know a lot of people were disappointed they wanted the suit look, but this is my preferred one. I'm curious, what do you prefer? Do you like this? Do you like the suit? Do you want the pretty lady look? Let me know down in the comments. And like I mentioned before, there is an alternate head, so we just go ahead and pop this head off. You can see the peg there. Take the alternate head. Sure, the strap for the apron isn't in the way. And it pops on like that. And I do have this look for him. Not my favorite look for Leatherface. I prefer the other head, but it is nice to have the options. You see it's being held together with a string or something like that at the sides, letting his ears poke through. Really good looking masks on this figure. You see the eyes. Almost innocent, which is just makes him even creepier. At the top again, you can see his hair poking through there. Moving around to the back. So a couple different display options for him, but for me, this one here is Leatherface. That's a nice option, but this is how I'll be displaying it. For articulation, you saw that the head was on a post. Unfortunately, you don't get a whole lot of up and down movement because of the hair at the back, at least on this head. That's as far back as he can look. You can look forward just a little bit. There's a little bit of side to side, and of course you can rotate all the way around. Shoulders can raise up like that. They do rotate all the way around. You have a single bend elbow, and the hands are on a wrist peg. There's no ab crunch or anything like that, being kind of an overweight figure. The leg is only able to go back just a little bit. Same going forward, not much movement at all out of that. We have a single bend knee, although I wouldn't really call that much of a bend. And the foot is on a hinge that goes up and down. It does rock side to side and can turn. Oh, and there is rotation at the knee there. So not very agile at all, but Leatherface was not the most flexible person. He was kind of overweight and stuff like that. His movement is really in his arms, and as long as he can hold the chainsaw with 2 hands, I think that's good enough for me. And as you can see, he has no problems holding the chainsaw at all. There is actually rotation at the elbow here, so the forearm does move in towards the body. This arm doesn't seem to really want to move. It might just need to be heated up. I would imagine that both arms are supposed to move, not just the right arm. But yeah, you can get him holding it really well, so I'm pretty happy with that articulation. So overall, I think Neca has done a really good job of capturing how disgusting Leatherface is in figure form. While the weapons he comes with are really good, it would have been nice to have had the alternate hands and just a little bit more blood splatter on the weapons and on the figure itself. The articulation is pretty limited, but I'm happy with what there is. He can make use of all of his accessories. I would rather have a figure that looks nice but can't move very well to one that can move well but has articulation joints all over the place that really ruins the look of the figure. Leatherface doesn't need to be in really dynamic poses. It's all kind of in his arms, and you can get that with this figure. I do appreciate the alternate head sculpt. It does give you a little bit of options, but of course if you wanted the suit or any of his other looks, you don't like the yellow apron, you're kind of out of luck. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. That would really help me out. I have reviewed many horror figures, and I have more reviews to come, so be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. But for right now, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.